Because, as I had explained, there are short poems and long poems in this book, Pheromones. Turn back on. I will, if I have short ones, try to share the photos with you as well. Like this first one, you can't see the photo because it's not really a good one to see, so. A poet walks into a coffee shop, sees a rabbi, a father, and an imam, and the poet thinks, I should write a poem about this. Sure, little ones. I don't know if the little ones probably need the big old applause, but I will go to Unbounded. Where is Unbounded? Haha. And it's a dark one to see. My unbounded love makes me fight for you against impossible odds. It's really dark, but there's a wedding dress and blackness. Next one is Oceans, if I find it. That's what bookmarks are for, right? Oceans. I would climb mountains, swim oceans, shed blood and tears to give you new life. I have a little want to swim down my sharks for the images for this one. This next one is a little bit longer, and I do not believe there is a poem, an image with it. But I believe it was accepted for publication in something in Georgetown this year or last, I cannot remember. And it is called Eyes. In fact, there's a tiny picture of eyes. It's really not easy to see, but it's a longer poem, so you get the idea. This is called Eyes. The eye is a fascinating thing. It's beautiful to study, especially yours. I would study the unique blue pools of yours so I could learn why I love your eyes and why I'm so in love with you. Eyes are our windows to the outer world, but they're also portals inward, fleeting glimpses to what you are inside. Our eyes are designed so that we can follow each other's gazes closely. I'm watching you. Scientists are now figuring out that our eyes really are a window to our soul, which may be why I love your eyes, never wanting to lose sight of them again. I think my husband's getting bashful because he's assuming they're all for him. I had to say that to you that way.
I know who those ones that poem is for.
You know who those are.
Yes, somebody in college.
No, it's for you, of course. No,
he had nicer blue eyes than I had.
He's just trying to be.
And he wore a sweater that matched his eyes.
Oh, my friend Jim? You're kidding me. Every once in a while you see somebody and like, I have to make a comment that your shirt perfectly matches your eyes, and it's just striking and it blows you away. That's how I gained a friend by telling them that. Anywho, this one is called Ends of the Earth, another very short one. I would go to the ends of the earth to have you with me once again. My baby, my love, you are my life. Very tiny picture of like iceberg, but then there's a face and a child's face in there too. It's really hard to see. But you know, if you were here up close, you could see it, I guess. This is a longer one because I decided to not include this in events of the year because I didn't think the Notre Dame catching on fire was really an event. But, you know, it was an amazing, but I didn't think that's something I should mark a holiday or a day of the year for. So I said I'm not going to include that there, but I wrote a few pieces, and this is one of the deep one about that day. Sister Foundation. The shock comes from the suddenness and the certainty when something loved for years, always a constant, is suddenly destroyed so quickly, so succinctly, so completely. You think you did everything you could to stop this. You thought the entire world did everything in their power to make sure nothing like this could ever happen, and yet, here we are. We sit in shock from far too far away to make a difference, and watch the new mindset of instant recollection and instant gratification to force down your throat the instantaneous news that is killing you. It's killing you to live through this. Thousands of lifetimes and stories are lost in one unplanned, unintentional act, and now face the loss that no one expected, the loss that we couldn't even imagine. Everything from the foundation to the zeitgeist has collapsed as you wonder what within you has collapsed too. Whether you want to worship or want to admire or want to remember, it is now gone forever. And your first battle is to cope with it, to let the shock wear away until you can begin to grieve. And a happier ending for the ending of reading on this book is a poem that I wrote called Eternal Neverending Now. We struggle in our worlds, we contend with regular problems, and we look for relief in any way we can. We think a vacation can temporarily assuage how we feel, and it does, and then it is back to the same old grind, the same never-ending meaninglessness. I know it's hard, I know it seems hopeless, but I want to ask you, can you find a moment, can you pause and think of a time in your life, any time, when you felt at peace? It may have seemed a lifetime ago. Maybe it was at a beach at sunset, listening to the waves crash. Maybe it was sitting along at a mountainside, watching the little cars driving on the little roads below. Or maybe it was even just jumping in a vat of soybeans when a farmer said to look around the farm, and all you could smell was fresh wheat and dew from the lush green all around you. I won't even bring up references like bubble baths or baseball games. Just think of what works for you and remember it. And what I want you to do is find that moment, and you may realize that time then seemed to stand still. Like there was no past, there was no future, there was just an eternal, never-ending now that didn't end. During that moment, you can't even remember it ending. It was that complete. So, if you can remember those times, if you can reflect on those times, then know that the perfect moment of completeness, of wholeness, is within you. Find it and know that peace is with you always. And now I'm going to end with the other thing about traveling that I wrote while I was gone. This is the last poem. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it is not in any books, so I just wrote it. And it is called Verdant Green. Journey across these northern states, leave the hustle and bustle of the morning commute in Chicago, drive through Indiana just past dawn, see fog hovering over fields past Gary, Valparaiso, Notre Dame. And keep your glasses on, not only because the sun in this cloudless sky is so ominously bright, but because the fields you drive past are so incredibly bright. Every crevice is covered with lush, verdant leaves from moisture-rich fields springing forth life, and even your eyes need protection from the green. Because even Chicago has vines in bloom, covering buildings, wrapping tree trunks. So continue through Ohio and beyond the standing bales of hay. Lift your sunglasses every once in a while, just to shock your eyes with the verdant green all around you. Feel the metal, even the metal fences are covered with thick, lush foliage because everything grows here. Everything is alive with a force you've been aching for since subjected to that sunny, arid summers of triple digits and no water to quench your soul. Look to your left. See across acres of corn stalks, and to your right, broad leaves of protein-rich beans. It may shock your senses, but this is life, and you need to remind yourself of the brightness of life before you enter Pennsylvania, and you need to pop your ears from the rising and falling mountains covered in forests you could only dream about. Inhale, take a deep breath, and breathe life in. Believe it or not, it gets more moist the further east you go, and the plants here are the proof. They're giving you the oxygen you need. Thank them for letting out your deep carbon dioxide breath. Fly past the occasional flowers growing along the roads as you journey, and smile when you see how vibrant life can be. And I'm sorry that I don't have extra copies of this first book, but if anybody, for some reason, wanted a copy of this, I could give it away for only $10, because through Amazon it'd probably be more like 15 when you get it. So, and then I'll have to order more quickly. but thank you.